In the previous videos, we went through how to best set up a game project on Codecks. So we looked at most of the relevant project management features and functionalities that you can find on Codecks. But what is really awesome, though, is that it doesn't really stop there. Since Codecks was built with games in mind, one thing that needed to be part of it was also community management support. And Codecks does offer community features to help studios connect their dev work with player feedback. Teams can collect bug reports and feedback from Discord or even in-game, turn them into actionable work items, and push progress updates back to players so the community always stays in a loop. So yeah, it would be really awesome if you can walk us through all the community features that exist and share what they are, how we can set them up and make the best use of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So like you said, there are a lot of features and we can start with the first one, which we call Codecks, and it's kind of a roadmap tool. You can use it. Basically, we build a page for you that's auto-generated from your project management task, and you can choose what you want to share or not. Obviously, you can choose to share just parts of your game or your whole backend. That's up to you. But let me show you what we mean by that. So you can see my Codecks here, and if I go to the settings, I can go to the project-specific settings. So in here we have like a Codecks project, and then we have a separate Codecks project which is called the roadmap. And if I just click on this globe icon, because I already set it up, this is where I land. So this is live on the internet, believe it or not. So people can read about, they can read this introduction, and then they can dig in here and check out individual cards. They can also upvote ideas. So that's a nice feature that we use to share feedback and community feedback and so on. I made it so that it's already pre-sorted by the amount of upvotes. So this is a good place for people if they want to see if a bug already has been reported, for example, or if they want to follow along with the roadmap, what's going on, and so on. That's a cool place to go. And it's also a cool place to get inspiration, because when you click here to the gallery, you will get to see an overview of a lot of games that are using this feature already. Some of them really known ones. And there are a couple thousand games in here, which you can check out and get inspiration from. Sometimes I think it's fun to just browse here, but also if you want to look at games that are using Codecks, like this mega hit Halls of Torment, or these hit games, Dead Days, Road Trip, or Rogue Voltage, you can jump into their thing here and follow along. You can also follow along by joining their community. This will make it so that you're basically subscribing to email updates and so on. And you can also see the recent updates here. And if you're really into details, you can even watch the streak counter, and you will see the amount of weeks that they've been working on this concurrently. So this also gives you an idea of kind of how much activity there is. So how do you set this up for yourself? Or you set up a new project. We made it so that we ask you to set up a new project just to be extra sure that you don't accidentally leak anything you didn't intend to leak. So by having it like in a different space, a project that makes it really easier to visualize. And then let me just enable these and go into the settings here, and then you will find this label here, Codecks, and this is where you can set up your project. So you can make it public with here. With this button, you can choose the URL and so on. You can customize it, add your own nice images and so on, override colors, etc., so that your page feels welcoming and nice. A feature that we recently added is the ability to, instead of you sharing your decks, maybe you want to share a particular vision board, because those allow you to be also playful and set up according to your own wishes more freely. So this is a feature I can choose here from different vision boards in this project. So I already prepared this Codecks roadmap vision board. I can save this. And now if I jump into this page again, what I will see is when people navigate to the URL, instead of going to just your decks, they will go directly to this vision board that you have here. So, and from here, I can have some text, I can have cards. These are actual cards in my project, right? I can have progress bars, whatever I want. I can have here my list of community bugs, of feedback, and so on. So this is similar to what I showed you before with the decks, but you can already like customize it to make it a bit easier to grasp for your fans. Yeah, so that's a pretty cool feature. So by using Codecks, you basically get a roadmap for free that is just auto-generated from your cards that you can share on the web. You don't need to get a additional page or homepage or upload it to your web provider or something. We take care of that for you. So that's the first community feature. What do you think about it?
I think it's brilliant. And also, I mean, it's becoming even more important to build with community in mind. So this is a great way to include people and to have them feel like they're part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. I feel also that everybody knows there are more and more games. So I feel like like a community-oriented approach is really, really important now. The more fans you can build and bring with you from game to game, the higher your chances of success. That's something that we want to support, and that's something that we believe in already for a long time. So another feature that we have is the Discord integration. So where do fans hang out a lot? It's on the Discord servers of the developers, right? You can make that the home of your community. So we wanted to make sure to also integrate that. And how we do that is basically you can add a Codecks bot to your Discord, and it will listen in and grab all the feedback for you automatically. And when you think of the old ways of doing this, it would be you are sitting in a channel and all these requests come in, and you would have to then manually copy paste them over into your tool. What happened from your side? It's a bit like a lot of busy work doing that over and over. And from the community's perspective, they never hear us back from you, basically. So we wanted to do what I like to say, how I like to call it is like putting the loop in feedback loop, where we grab the feedback and then the community gets to go along with us and get continuous progress notifications as we are working through their feedback. And that's kind of the novel idea. So let me share. So this is the Codecks community server. I just created a new secret channel, early access. And let's say in here, there are a couple of people and we want to collect feedback. Maybe this early access is for like a particular feature or particular game and so on. So we want to have our bot in here. So what I do is I go into the app, into the mission control, into the organization settings, and here I will find the Discord entry. And here I can add my server first. I might have multiple servers here, that's fine. And then I can define a so-called / command. And the / command is something that people can use from their Discord by entering. It starts always with a / and then with a keyword that lets us know what people want. So let's say we want to create a new / command in the early access channel, and we just call it feedback. So it helps to give this a description so that our community knows what this is intended for. This is for giving feedback on our early access. Okay, a bit trivial, but you get the idea. I can now say, is this a global command that's just listening across the whole server? In this case, I'm going to choose no, because something that's nice if you have maintained multiple games on one server, the tool can basically automatically funnel the feedback depending on the channel that the users left the feedback in. So let's say, okay, we want to only listen for early access. And then what's a cool upvote icon? Let's say the flame. And now, so people leave feedback. Where should they leave the feedback in? Where should it be created? So let's say we create it in, let's say the inbox. Great. I have to give the bot access to this channel because he needs to be able to see it. Let me quickly do that. It's very instructive for people to see how to overcome this. And let me see, add members or roles. I will add the bots. What I did was just go in here into the permissions and I added the bot here. And you can see it's now being able to access the server channel because it shows up. Our trustful bot called Decky is now able to see this channel. And so when I go back to Codecks, I'm now able to save this command. So I already did that. And like you can see, we have a command feedback here. It accepts messages from anyone, so I can everyone, so I can restrict this to my most trusted community members or admins or something. In this case, we make it accessible to everybody. Upvoting is with this flame emoji. There is no threshold. So let's say, what is the threshold? That's good. Let's say maybe 3. The idea about the threshold is that not every single feedback or command usage will automatically immediately have the bot create a card inside of Codecks. Because if you have a very large community, for example, there might be a lot of spam or people like misusing this thing and so on. So, or people reporting things that have been reported before. So by setting a threshold, you're making it so that, for example, at least 10 people need to upvote this idea before it even gets like promoted to your inbox. And that's really cool way of letting your community help you basically self-manage itself. So the community is helping with the triaging of like new input, new feedback, and also with kind of blocking out spam and so on. So in this case, yes, let's do that. And then what's interesting here is we can choose how we want to let people follow along. So for any of these activities that are happening in Codecks, I can tell them, I can send a message to the thread for this feedback. So for example, okay, let's do it. Let's post for everything. So when the card has been seen by a developer, we post a message. When it's been assigned to a user, we post a message. When it's assigned to a milestone, when it's assigned to a run, when it's assigned to a hand, when the card has been started, when the card is being done. You can customize this. You can, for every single one of these, you can overwrite everything basically, including if it should be triggered at all. The more, the better, in my opinion, but that's up to you, like how transparent you want to be. And then you can also choose leaderboards, which is every day or every certain weekday at a certain time, you can post a list of the most popular content, either like globally, like ever, or trending, like compared to the last week and so on. Generally, I would always have it trending. Okay, and I think then we have something set up. Let's see if it works. Now I write /feedback. I can already see the command here. It says this is for giving feedback on our early access. Okay, I can write this out. I press tab. Now I can enter what I want to know, give as feedback. This feature is awesome. And now it will ask me for additional stuff. But no, that's fine. I will try to summon it like this. And a couple of things are happening here. So the first thing you will see is, here's my original message. I could add obviously much more information and so on. And then it added a couple of buttons here, and it added a thread. So the thread is where I can follow along. It added me automatically as a thread. So whenever something is happening here, I can see it, what's going on. Also, it added one emoji already. Like the bot already likes the idea, which is good. So I can also emoji it, and then you will see it will have more upvotes. And you also added it. So liked it. So what happened here is, because you liked it, you were automatically added to the thread as well. And since we reached 3 out of 3 threshold, this card was promoted, and we get an update here. And what does it mean? If it gets promoted, it means now that a actual card inside of Codecks was generated. So yeah, we'll share my Codecks, of course. Oh wait, no, let's stay on Discord for a moment, because I'm now looking for myself. I'm looking at Codecks. I'm seeing the card. Let me just look at the card. Just open it. As you see, nothing happens. I can set it to in progress. Yes. So a couple of things have worked, happened. So this card is ready to be worked on. It means I started, I added it to the hand. I set it to in progress. Because I set it to in progress, it was automatically assigned to me, and it was automatically assigned to the run that we're in. So a couple of things are already happening. And I can leave additional comments here. This is so cool. And I will show you in a second why I'm doing this. Here is the card that was created. It was created inside the Codecks inbox. And what I can see here is these identifiers here tell me it's a Discord request. And I can even see the message that I just wrote on Discord. So this is really cool for collecting all the information that I need in one place. So before we had this feature and people would report stuff on Discord, we would constantly have to switch in and out of Discord, or we would have to like screenshot whole conversation flows and so on. And we don't have to do this anymore. This is kind of like automatically everything kept here. And I can even go, this is really crazy feature, is I can even comment here from my regular comment box and write with the people on Discord. Thanks for reporting. In case I have like a follow-up question or something. So in this case, I get a message from our Discord bot as a DM. So it's not something that's in the public channel, but it's something where you can ask them. If somebody has like a computer configuration or something you want to ask for, you can use this. And small side benefit is that you don't have to send them a friend request first and then like, is this the right account and so on. You can just use the Discord bot to DM the users. This is quite cool. So let's say I set it to done. So as you can see, it updated the thread, it updated my community, everybody that kind of upvoted and then was joined to the thread as a automatic result of that, now also sees all the following notifications, including the fact that the card is done. What happens here additionally behind the scenes is the user that originally suggested something gets awarded karma points to the height of like the amount of upvotes that this feature request collected. So the idea is the better your feature requests, the more upvotes you get, and the more karma points you get. And then those karma points can be used as a threshold for accessing certain channels. So as a developer, you could make it so that you reward your best or the community members with the best feedback. You reward with custom channels, with a custom role, and so on. Maybe that role then comes with other privileges or using certain features. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, this Discord integration, I feel it's like incredibly powerful. It could be like a whole product by itself, but what is nice about integrating it into Codecks is the fact that it lives in your project management tool space. So for us, it's kind of like doing community management kind of for free, because you don't have to log into a separate tool. You don't have to pay for a separate tool. You don't have to set up roles there and so on. You don't have to triage the feedback in a separate tool. It lives in the same tool that you're working in anyway. And community feedback and ideas live right next to other tasks. So it's really convenient to handle them. And yeah, that's really powerful. And there's also there are more features around this. So from your hand, you can access a quick overview where when you click on this potion icon, you can see recently upvoted things. You can see how many people visitors to your roadmap, recent upvotes, and so on. So that's pretty nice as well. So that's the second feature. Not even that is all. I know you're mind blown already, but there's even more to come. The third integration is a engine integration. So for games like, so we have a full-blown API, and we have a API kit or like a plugin for Unity, for Unreal, for Godot. You can find them on our community pages. For example, you will find these plugins for various tools, and they allow you to integrate collecting bug or bug reports rather, or feature requests right in your game. So let me show you a game that I worked on where we did this. It's Curious Expedition 2. So this is a game by my studio Machine Mensch that we released a couple of years ago. It's the sequel to our first debut title, Curious Expedition. And I recommend people checking it out if they haven't done so. But what's it's more interesting here, it's, let's say let me go into one of these places like this cafe here, and I noticed some bug here. For example, I don't know, this guy has 4 legs or something. So what I can do is, at any point, I can press escape to go into the settings, and I can click this button here, report a bug. Here I can choose what kind of feedback I want to give. Let's say that's a minor bug, and the guy in the back has 4 legs. Can send this. And bam, I left a bug report. So super convenient. I don't even have to go to Discord, or I don't have to send an email. I don't have to go to some web form. I can just, from within the game, leave a bug directly. And the nice thing is, we built this for you, so you don't have to build it yourself. I'm gonna show it how it looks in the app. You can already see it here. So let me open Codecks. So as you can see, this is the bug. The guy in the back has 4 legs. And what we can see here is metadata. And that's really cool because we can add like version numbers. We can say if they're using a controller. We can have like campaign data. This is basically very highly game-specific debug data. We can look at the log and so on. Obviously, you want to customize this for each game. For our game, this kind of information makes sense. What's also nice, I can go into the screenshot. It will attach a screenshot automatically. It will attach a player log, a save game, and so on. So literally just with this, I have all the information. Usually I need to triage and fix the bug by itself. And this is like much more convenient than people having to send everything manually, which they probably can't. You don't want to direct people to be like, go into this folder and send us these 5 files and so on. That's complicated, right? You want to make it as easy as possible. And now it's even easier because you can, as a developer, just grab the plugin, you can customize it, and just put it in your game. And for C2, we didn't use this feature, but a feature that you can also use is actually the plugin supports that people leave their email. And then if they leave their email and you fix the bug or the issue in Codecks, they will automatically get pinged via the email. So that's also pretty cool. And again, it's about this idea of putting the loop in feedback loop. So people having like this positive reaction or experience with you actually fixing bugs is nice, because then that will prompt them to be even more engaged and have like this positive feedback loop with you. And this feature is actually so useful that we used it during development. So not just for our audience was a convenient way to leave feedback and bug reports and so on. Even when the game was not released, we just used it internally for the team, for our internal bug QA, for example. They also reported exclusively using this feature. Yeah, and I think that's about that.
Where can you find the API?
So the easiest way is probably, let me share the screen, the homepage, like a nice menu here at top. I think it's called super menu or something. I'm not sure what the official terminology is, but you can go to the community hub and you will find all kinds of cool features, like the C Notes plugin for Unity, where you can see your cards in 3D space. And you will also find how to access our Discord and so on. But you will also, for example, find the user reporting for Godot. And you can also from here go to our API and find instructions for how to set that up. You can also, so you can use our plugin that we created, or you can also use the API behind it directly yourself. From within the app, the important areas to check out are, if you go into organization settings, you will also conveniently find here user reports for Unity. And then going to setup will direct you through the setup. From here, you can use the GitHub page. And then from the GitHub, even though we don't have like a button here, but we also have a Unreal plugin, which you can use similarly. And you will find it on our GitHub. Just when you go to the Codecks.io GitHub page, and then you will find a Codecks Unreal plugin here as well. And like I said, there's also Godot plugin, which we are not maintaining ourselves. That's a community project. But generally, just even looking at the stuff, you can probably vibe code some like an integration into any other engine really quickly from here.
Nice.
Yes, so there's like a lot of community management features here. Probably more than people would expect. But that's something that we like to do, is really think about what makes game development maybe different or more innovative than other processes. And we feel community is a huge aspect of that. And so we try to support you there as well.
Maybe to wrap it up, one last thing would be great to mention is Steamy. We kind of had a sneak peek while looking at Deki as well. Can you tell us a bit like what that is?
Yeah, Steamy is a bot that allows you to mirror Steam reviews as they are coming into your Steam page onto Discord. So you can use Steamy for free, even if you are not using Codecks. It's our gift to the general game developer community, so they can get real-time notifications if there is a new review for their game or games. And so why would you do that? I mean, first, maybe because you just are curious to see the reviews in real time. Maybe you want to, if there's like a negative review, you might want to react to it quickly and make sure you're on top of like any issues there might be. And what we found also is that you can mirror those reviews into some internal secret channel, maybe just for your development team, but you can also post them in a public facing like community channel. And what we found there is that it's really nice to engage the community in this way and having them kind of root for you and for good reviews as they come in. And then hopefully maybe some of them will be inspired to leave positive reviews themselves as well. So it's a developer feature, but also a community building feature at the same time.
Nice. All right, then hope everybody can check things out, try them out themselves. If you have more questions, make sure to join our Discord as well. That's where our whole team is at, and other developers as well, so we can help answer anything else that maybe we haven't answered in the video. And yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you.